December 14th. This is going to be an absolutely hectic day, and essentially in today's video, I'm going to be going over how to efficiently manage your time on that day. So before we get into this, let me list off the most important shoes that are dropping on the 14th. First of all, we have the Frozen Yellow Yeezy 350 V2, also known as the Yebra, and we have the Doernbecher Freestyles, the Origin Story 1s. And finally, the Concepts Purple Lobster SB, but they're only dropping on Concepts for the 14th, then they'll drop at some other stores on the 15th, and Nike sneakers on the 17th. Today specifically, we're only going to be mentioning the 14th, and if you guys would like to see a video for the 15th, because that's pretty hectic as well, feel free to let me know about that. Because as you guys know, when it comes to the 15th, we have the Red Not For Resale, then we also have the Jordan 3 Mocha, and finally the Fear of God. Also for the 14th, just so I get this out of the way right now, US is supposed to get the release for the black off-white Zoom Fly. Now the thing is, a couple of retailers already had them, for example, Kith, but the main thing is, we don't know if they're going to be releasing on sneakers because the product page has yet to load up. But of course, when something does happen, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Images are already loaded up for these, so of course I am still expecting a release, and if the product page doesn't load up, I don't know what we could see. I don't want to say it's going to be a shock drop because, hey, we might not end up seeing anything, and I don't want to stress you guys out. But of course, it's a possibility. Anyway, right now we're going to be going through the most significant drops in chronological order for the most part, at least. For example, at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, we see that Soulbox is releasing the Yeezy 350 V2 Zebra. However, Soulbox would actually be a place that I wouldn't mention, specifically because the retail is already going to be $250, plus a conversion fee if you're in the US, plus shipping. So it ends up probably not being worth it. Anyway, I'm assuming all you guys already signed up for the foot apps, signed up for raffles, and all. So with that, let's go. Kicking it off, the first place that I wanted to mention actually drops at a random time, and that is going to be Yeezy Supply. Yeezy Supply, of course, will be dropping the Yeezy 350 V2 Frozen Yellow. Now, of course, what you have to understand with this drop is that they do charge $20 for shipping. Not only that, but for the most part, Yeezy Supply does take a very long time to ship. Now, that extra $20 shipping is going to be okay when it comes to sizes 4 to 6.5, 12.5, and if they happen to get any sizes over 14, which I don't think is going to be the case for Yeezy Supply. But when it comes to the more common sizes, I would save your money for Adidas.com because it shouldn't be too hard to get those. Moving on to just before 3 a.m. Eastern Time, Soulbox will have the Origin Story 1s. The queue for these will go live at around 2:40, 2:45-ish, so if you want to use the multiple people jig, feel free to do so. They do track your IP address, so you do risk getting temporarily IP banned. I think it's worth the risk. And right now, Grade School is the only one that is currently up, but you know, that's not such a bad thing. I'm expecting the men's size to come up soon, but regardless of that, hypothetically, if they don't, the Grade School one will honestly have a better profit margin anyway, especially because the retail on these is only $120 in comparison to $160. But of course, if you're looking for your personal pair, this isn't the place for you. Anyway, while all of your Chrome users are going, feel free to head over to Titolo. Titolo is doing a first come first serve at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. I would personally focus on the Grade School sizes if you're looking to resell them, but then if you're looking for the men's pairs, unfortunately as of now I do believe it's going to be in store first, remaining pairs online, and there's probably not going to be any. So yeah, when it comes to 3 a.m. Eastern Time here, focus for the Grade School pair. And then of course during this, in the background, you should have your Chrome users running for Soulbox and occasionally checking them. A neat little tip that I always tell you guys is if you use the F3 button at the top of your keyboard on Mac or the Windows button and then pressing tab, you can actually get a complete view of all of your Chrome users at once. It's super efficient and it's super useful. It makes everything super organized. Also, I forgot to mention for you guys in Europe, it will be 2 a.m. Eastern Time for you guys. And then like always, the splash should open up a little bit before that. So perhaps 1:45 a.m. Eastern Time or so. And I recently got a few questions of people confused about me saying that the time is at 2 a.m. I'm listing these times all in Eastern Time to make everything consistent. Depending on what region you're in, you just do a quick time conversion. It's that simple. Again, when it comes to these frozen yellows, I definitely would prioritize sizes 4 to 6.5, 12.5, and because it's Adidas.com, they will most likely load up sizes over 14. It's usually only one, usually it's 16, but occasionally it is 14.5. But we'll see. If you see anything over 14 and you get in the splash early, obviously you want to pick it up as soon as possible. After that, your option should be 4.5 and 6.5, and after that perhaps 5.5, 6, and 4. And yeah, 12.5 is definitely a good one as well. Regarding the common sizes, if you're buying from Adidas.com, you might be able to make a little bit of lunch money. It's not going to be anything significant. I'm expecting it to be very similar to the Zebras, although there's a little less stock on these compared to the Zebras, and there were already less pairs in circulation. There's still significantly less demand when it comes to the frozen yellows compared to the Zebras. But of course, it's up to you. You guys do whatever you want. And of course, if you want a personal pair, hey, feel free to go for your personal pair as well. It definitely shouldn't be too difficult to cop some of the common sizes. Then on the 13th, actually, since we're on the topic of Adidas, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Australia will drop them. Splash will open up around 15 minutes before that, so you want to have your Chrome users set up then before stock goes live. And then still on the topic of Adidas, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time should be for Canada. Alright, so now moving on to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's start off with Adidas.com US. At around 9:40 or so, 9:45-ish, the splash will go live, just like any other Adidas.com page. Stock goes live then at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, so before 10 a.m. Eastern Time, make sure all of your Chrome users are set up, just like I've been mentioning. Now, in the US, while you have your Chrome users running, you should be going for the Crystal Chicago Jordan 1 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We have the men's at the top, and then if you scroll down, you will be able to see grade school pairs at the bottom. I would definitely recommend going for both, and it is a Leo drop, a let everyone order drop. It's not a draw, so you do want to get in as many accounts as possible within a 1 to 2 minute time window. And then I forgot to mention for Europe, of course, you guys are getting the Crystal Chicagos as well at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So obviously you would want to factor that in for what you guys are doing with Titolo and also Nike.com. Personally, for you guys, I would prioritize Nike sneakers over Titolo. Anyway, also for the US, before 10 a.m. Eastern Time, not only is Adidas.com doing the queue, but Kicks USA and Finish Line will be doing the queue for the Jordan 1 Crystals or Spider-Verse Origin Stories. Again, for all these queues, they open up before 10, even though stock doesn't go live. It's just a perfect opportunity to get set up. And then after 10 a.m. Eastern Time, after you've gotten in all of your accounts for Nike, I would keep trying to make your purchase on Shoe Palace. I mentioned Shoe Palace in the How to Cop guide for the Jordan 1s. You can feel free to check that out, but essentially, Shoe Palace might take a little while to sell out, specifically because they only allow certain people to check out at certain times. So after you're done with Nike, it's at least worth a shot to try and cart on Shoe Palace. I've seen a couple of you guys be successful on there, so hey, it's worth a shot. Then moving on to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we have Concepts dropping the Lobster SB. The retail on these is only $130 for Concepts, but for Nike, I believe it's $100 or so. These are definitely going to be very profitable. It's going to be a pretty nice margin, not just because of the low retail, but these are in rather high demand, at least for an SB. And also, of course, stock is pretty low. If you do get your pairs early, though, I do definitely recommend selling as soon as possible because, again, we have the larger release coming on the 17th. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't sleep on these, especially because you're not really going to be doing anything else at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But finally, moving on to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Doernbecher Freestyles dropping. There are 6 colorways in total. Now, if I'm being honest, there might be some profit to be made with the SBs and also the Air Force Ones, specifically because of that low retail. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend going for these for resale purposes. Honestly, you should just buy these to show support, or if you like the shoe, of course. Of course, I'm not urging you guys to purchase them. That's completely up to you. All I would suggest is at least checking them out, perusing the colorways, and hey, if one catches your eye and you like it, you know that your money's going to a good cause. But with 12 p.m. Eastern Time, that is going to conclude the 14th. Again, if you guys want to see the video for the 15th, I could do that for you guys as well. Otherwise, I might just make a specific video for the Fear of God ones. Also, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or if you perhaps learn a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on any of these shoes or just hyped future drops. With that, I'll see you guys later. Good luck, of course, and have a great rest of your day.
Every single day. Get your foot off my foot. Get your foot off my foot. Yeah. I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot.